Hey everyone, glad you're here. Hey, I'm Dina. I am the owner of Artistic Creations by Dina, if you don't know who I am. So, welcome. Like for you to say hi, waiting for people to come in. And I think my daughter is the only one on here at the moment, which actually is just me. But, anyways, I'll wait and see how many people are able to make it. Um, what I usually do on my lives is I go through what I have produced as far as videos. I produce videos on showing you how to make jewelry, and then I do some YouTube lives. I have some shorts on my channel as well, and then I have some collections and things like that. We'll go through the most recent collection here in a few minutes too. So, uh, yeah, that's pretty much what I do on these lives. So first about, 15, 20 minutes or so, I'm usually just kind of talking about what's going on, showing you the different products that I've made over the last couple of weeks, and then we get into actually creating something. Today I'm going to be using a idea that I wanted to make as a tutorial, but I'm kind of running out of time. So due to a couple of different things that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I decided to go ahead and do that tutorial on this one. I didn't consider this as a tutorial edition, but it kind of sort of is. So it's going to be more of a hybrid um, compared to some of my other lives. And for whatever reason, this is not connecting. Um, so I hope this is working. That might be the reason why things are not working correctly. Maybe it's not connecting. Let me see if I can refresh. Oh, no, it is. Okay. So maybe I just had to refresh my daughter's YouTube over here. I always have the YouTube going on my computer over here off to the side just so I can see what's going on and make sure that I'm actually working. So that's why it took me a second, and I have to kind of like duck down because everything is down here and all of this stuff right here is in the way. So whatever. But it looks like it is actually working. So I just wanted to make sure everything was good. So whenever you get here, just say hi. I'd love to see who you are, where you're coming from, see what's going on and everything. I will go through the one earring. So we're going to be doing the Saguaro Sunset from the Bargain Bee Box. There is an earring that I wanted to make. It's another right angle weave earring, so that is one of my go-to stitches. That's, I guess, another reason why I wanted to do that more of a live tutorial rather than doing it as an actual tutorial, because I do right angle weave quite a bit. So I've been trying to do some of my actual tutorials that I'm coming out with different stitches. So I think that's one reason why I was just like, well, we'll just do this on a live rather than doing this as an actual tutorial and see what happens from there. So we'll be doing that today, and then I'm going to get my little sister, Gemstone Orphan, from Gemstone Orphanage out, and I'm going to be bezeling around that. So hopefully I will be able to get both of these done in about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Oh, here comes Cosmo. Hi, kitty cat. So the other thing, I am being a little brave, and I'm letting my puppy dog actually tell me if he's getting good enough, we'll put it that way, to allow him to stay out. So if I have to get up and run real quick because I hear a bunch of commotion going on in the kitchen, then I may have to do that. And I'll just say, like, hey, I'll be right back. So if that happens, I'm usually actually trying to take care of my dog. So one of those things. The other thing I'm going to be doing today in today's live is I'm going to give away a $25 gift card essentially to my Etsy shop. So you can use it on pretty much anything on my Etsy shop. So you can pick up the latest collection if you want to get $25 off, or if there is a jewelry piece that you like that you would like to give for, a gift for a friend or a family member or something like that, then you're welcome to pick up that too. So one thing, oh yeah, I guess I should tell you what to do. So if you want to enter that subscription, good gracious, if you want to enter that giveaway, please put in the word hashtag, or that's the number symbol. So hashtag Sandy. So hashtag SANDY. And you'll be entered to win that $25 gift card at the end of the live. So I see that there's a couple of people watching now. So hello. Love for you to say hi. If you're not able to say hi, it may be that the settings, I think, are set up to where you have to be a subscriber for at least an hour. So if you want to go ahead and hit subscribe, and then about an hour from now or so, you should be able to sit there and say hi. So if you're not able to do it, then that's probably what it is. Also, let me know if there are any commercials that pop up. I think I fixed the commercial issue. I went back and I looked, and I just heard a really funny sound in the kitchen. Sorry. I went back and I looked, and I think I figured out what setting that I had on that was still allowing commercials to come through. So let me know if you see any commercials. That is a really weird sound. Captain's up doing something. All right. I may have to go run here in a second, but I'm trying to be a good mom and let him to be out for all day long and not be up while I'm doing a live. So we'll see what happens. All right. So moving on. So don't forget to put hashtag Sandy to be entered into the $25 gift card giveaway if you would like to. And then outside of that, let's talk about videos and what's been going on. So last couple of weeks has been personally kind of challenging. Um, a lot of things going on family-wise that I'm not going to go into very much detail with, just because it deals with family stuff. So I don't want to I don't want everybody in the whole world knowing what's going on with my dad and what's going on with my mother-in-law. So those that know do know about it. They do know what's going on and everything. So it's one of those things. Um, so any prayers would be grateful. I do know that there's going to be some things coming up here in a little while, probably over the next couple of weeks, couple of months or so. That's going to be more time consuming as far as trying to take care of family. So I'm try to keep my every other week live thing going. But if there's any chance that I have to cancel it last minute, things like that, I always put that information on my YouTube community tab. So I think I am going to go check on the dog here in a second. But I always put that on the community tab to let you know that there is a reason that I have to cancel for that day. So give me just 1 second. Let me go check on my dog, and I'll be right back. All right. And of course, the dog is sitting there staring at me going, "What's wrong, Mommy? What's wrong with it?" All right, let me get myself focused again. Okay, that should focus in a second. Come on, focus. You can do it. Well, maybe I'll be out of focus. I don't know. It doesn't want to focus today. Yay. All right, so I'm not going to be talking. No, you cannot play with that, Cosmo. I won't be talking for much longer anyway. So, wow, it's really not focusing. Maybe I'm moving too much. Anyways, so that's been what's been going on as far as personal stuff, and I'm letting Cosmo get by and everything. Let me. I just heard that happen. I forgot to mute my computer, so that was going. All right, so let me know if anything sounds funny, looks funny. Oh, look, I'm focused finally. Eventually, that thing will go away. That little box. But anyways, apparently, box is gone. Okay. So that's been what's been going on personally and everything. Pharmacy wise, we're doing pretty good. It's been a little bit stressful just because it's starting the flu season. So everybody is trying to promote the flu shot and everything right now. So it's just a little busy because of that. But that's this time of the year, that always happens. So what I think I'm going to do next is we're going to go through the videos. So I have my stuff laid out down here. And then after we go through this, and this is just allowing everybody to kind of come in. There we go. But I do this so that way everybody has a chance to just kind of come in whenever they're able to and say hi if they're able to. So the first video that came out was the unboxing for my Creative Color Challenge. So this is the Rustic Retreat, and this is the color palette that I use. These are the color cube cards that are made from Sarah Renee Clark, that she puts together these cards, and in each edition there's 250 cards. You'll have a picture of some sort off to the one side, and then you'll have colors that come from that picture. Then on the back of the card, it has a range of different things. So you've got the hue and the, I forget what the white one's called. One of them is where you add more gray to the color. The other one's where you add more white to the color. I forget which one it's called. But anyways, so you get that. And that's what these cards are and everything. So these, I really love using these cards. They're a lot of fun to work with and everything, and then try to go through your stash and figure out what colors you have and everything that go along with this. So it's really fun to do a designing with and all. So that's the Rustic Retreat, and then this is what you get out of the Rustic Retreat. The project itself, that actually came out also, so I'll probably show you the project here in a second too. Not everything is labeled just yet. I've got a couple of these things that I still have to label, which is fine. I just have a few more things that I have to do with it. But the project itself, you would get the cotton cord, the wax cotton cording, and you have about 10 yards of it. You get these really amazing beads, and I have really no idea what they're made out of. I just know that they're a large hole, and they worked really well around the cotton cording. And then you would also need a crochet hook. Crochet is actually something that I started back when I was a very young child. I started at around probably 7 years old, 6 years old, somewhere around in there, crocheting. So I've been crocheting for a very long time. So I thought, you know what, let's do something just slightly different on this project, and let's do a crochet project. So this was the project. So this is actually the third video. This is the video that came out on Tuesday. And this is my sample project that I did. So this is actually a really, really long bracelet, which actually you can use it as an anklet if you wanted to. It's that big to where it kind of fits around my ankle just fine. So that's one thing that you can do with it. But this was the sample that I did, and then this is the one that I did in the actual video. So this one's a little bit smaller, and it's got the different button on there. So this one that I did during the video, I used the 2-hole button. These are both coconut buttons. And then this one has the 4-hole flower button. So that was the project that I'm doing for the Rustic Retreat. And then here are the differences in the pack. So you'll get one or the other, because I only had the ability to only get just a couple of these as well as a couple of these. So you would get one or the other on that. The other extra things that you got, this is bamboo. It's a whole strand of bamboo, and they're just little tubes of bamboo. So I thought it was kind of neat, and it kind of went along with the rustic theme. And this is rattan, I think is how it's called, or it's rattan, something like that. But it's a hand-woven little piece that you can use as a pendant like this. You can flip it upside down, use it like that, or you can put it off to the side and make it look more like a moon. So a moon that way or a moon this way. And my thought was to either seed bead or bead around the edges here, and then use that as a pendant to attach to a necklace if you wanted to do that. So that was my thought with that guy. You get a combination of a custom mix of seed beads, and these are all Miyuki 11-Os, and there's 5 different colors of 11-Os that are sitting in here. You get a mix of check glass, and there are, this is hard to see, so you get bicones in here. There's different bicones, a couple different sizes. You get the really, really large one here. That's like a 8 or a 10 millimeter. You get a couple of colors of the 4 millimeters. There's some drops. There's some drucks. And then is the flower that's sitting here too. So it's a really pretty flower that comes in this little mix. So that's the check glass mix that comes with this one. And come on, there we go. You also get these just a little bit different and something I wanted to add into it. And these are wooden teardrops. So they're very thin and it's very lightweight. So, but they're wooden teardrops that come in the kit. And my thought with this was that either you can bead something, and if you wanted to, you could actually glue it to here if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to bead something and then attach it with some jump rings and everything to the hole up here and then use it as a pair of earrings, you could do that. Or if you wanted to, you can always stamp this with a different stamp or emboss it. Sometimes you can use an embossing tool with the wood and things like that. A wood embossing tool, something like that. I just thought it was something neat and something different. And I'm always prone to teardrop shapes anyway. I don't know why, but this type of shape just really is kind of like my happy zone in the different shapes and stuff that you can use. And then the gemstones that you get with this, you get some angelite. So these little small 3mm beads are angelite. This is magnesite. It's yeah, these are magnesite. And then you've got some check glass that's in with that one. Then you have just a cute little crystal drop that comes with it too, kind of to hit that gray color. And you get a strand of picture jasper, and then this is let's see, this was ice obsidian. No, the round ones. The round ones are iced obsidian, and then these are smoky quartz. I had to think about what it was. And then these are faceted. It's faceted smoky quartz and then ice obsidian. And then you get the rest of it are picture jasper. So you get some matte 6mm picture jasper, you get some cube type forms, and then you get a couple of stars on that strand. And then that's all spaced out with Miyuki 8s. And then the last strand that you get on this one is some tiger eye. So tiger eye and some crystals. So you get the little 4mm tiger eye, you get some 6, you get some 8, and you get some 10. So all different sizes, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then in between are Miyuki 11Os, and then also some 4mm crystals. So that is the Rustic Retreat one. So move that one into my lap, and then we'll look at the Midnight Tide. And this is the Midnight Tide card. So a lot of times the name of the kit does not come from the picture itself. It just comes from the color scheme and what I find that might kind of go along with that color scheme. So this has a little bit more of a greener tint to it and on this half of it, and then you get the really, really dark blues over here. So this one, I really, really like this color palette. This is like one of my favorite color palettes that I've been able to pick. And then those are all the hex codes and everything on the back of that card. So I really like this color palette. And we'll start off the strands with this one. So this is the first strand, and these smaller beads, the 6mm, these are blue goldstone. One of my favorite beads to work with. It's not an actual gemstone, it is something that is man-made, but it is actually one of my favorite ones to work with. And then I have these are just glass beads. I want to say they're 8mm. I believe they're 8mm glass beads. And then I have some of the check flower cups or flower caps in between there too. So that's the first strand. These are hematite stars. So you get a strand of hematite stars. Just cute little small stars. Kind of goes along with the midnight theme. And then to go along with that, you also have some check moons. And then some glass beads. We have some spacer rondelles. And then these are black beads that they're cubes, but they go through diagonally. So instead of going through like one of the sides of the cube, it goes through from one corner to the other corner. So it was just something different and something neat. So I put that little strand together. You get a check glass trapezoid pendant, and it's in the Montana blue color, so it's a nice, really deep blue color. You get some iolite chips, and these iolite are so pretty. And this is basically the reason why this kit costs a little bit more than the Rustic Retreat. Rustic Retreat is $40, and then this one's $68. But I went a little overboard because I bought the iolite chips. But the iolite is so pretty. I don't know if the camera is picking it up because of the lighting, but it is so pretty because this one's a little bit more of a bluish purple color. This has got more of a gray color to it. But iolite is such a very pretty stone because it looks purple in some lights, it looks blue in other lights. It's one of those really, really neat stones that just kind of, it's eye-catching. But you get a whole bag of this, and it's about 100 pieces. Somewhere around 99 to 100 pieces, and I put about 100 pieces because I hand counted all of these, and sometimes they would, one piece would move to another pile, and then I'd have to recount it. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to put about 100 pieces. So some packets may only have like 98 or 99. Some packets may have 101 instead of 100. So I just put about 100 pieces. So hello to everybody that's joining. I've got a couple other people that are here. So don't forget, if you want to enter into the giveaway at the end, put in hashtag Sandy. So the hashtag is that number symbol and then the word Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y. And that will enter you into the drawing. So I forgot to hit a button there. If you're not able to comment at all, it may be because you're not a subscriber just yet. And if that's the case, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then within the next hour, which I'll still be on, hopefully, unless something major happens with my dog because my puppy's out. But within the next hour, you can come back and you can enter into the drawing then if you'd like to. So going through the Midnight Tide collection, and then this is the custom seed bead mix. So there's 5 different shades of colors in this. So you get more of the green shades in this seed bead mix. And then here is the check glass mix that you get in there. So you get some 8mm fire polish. There's a couple of different colors of the drops. There's this light blue color that has the silver on top of it. There's a jet color right here. You've got a check glass bicone, and then these are little stars that you get in this. And then these were just really pretty that they matched that green color on the card pretty closely. It's a little bit more of a yellow green compared to the card, but it looked really, really well with the kit, so I went ahead and got those too. So that's your little custom check mix. And then the rest are the findings and the portion for the project on this project, or this on this collection. Goodness gracious. So the findings, there's a couple of different things that you would get on the findings. You get these little teardrop shapes. You get this absolutely beautiful fold over clasp, and it's got CZ crystals and everything in it. So absolutely beautiful fold over clasp. This is an adjustable ring. So here's the adjustable portion of it, but it's got that loop right there that if you wanted to add a charm to it, like this stainless steel star, that was the main reason why I had got that. I was like, let's just do something a little bit different than what I usually do. And so I went ahead and got an adjustable ring that this is stainless steel, and this guy is stainless steel. And so that was my thought, just to attach those two together, and then you have yourself a cute little ring that you can wear. And then the last thing that came in the kit was this guy. Oh, yeah, there's my wire guards. I have a couple of wire guards in there, and I think I put 2 in there. Yeah, I did. So 2 wire guards, and then I have a pinch clasp. And then the wire guards and the pinch clasp go with the project. So the project has not come out just yet, but I will give you a sneak peek on that. And this is the project for this kit. So the video's already been recorded and I just have to edit it, and we'll have this video up in a couple of weeks. But you use some silver sheen obsidian, are the big gemstones in there, and wow, you can see the sheen on that guy right there. I mean, minus the glare on the bag, but it uses silver sheen obsidian. You've got some check glass kiwi beads, and that's the beads in the center there. You get some bicones, some gray colored bicones, and then the rest are the seed beads. You've got 15, 11, and 8 size seed beads. And then I show you how to put the wire guard up there at the top, and then that pinch bail is where you can pinch right here at the wire guard, and then you can attach it to your necklace. So that's going to be the project for this guy. Like I said, that'll come out in a couple of weeks. So that was the first thing that I had done, was the unboxing for this. And the next video that came out was for this bracelet. And hey, Dawn, I'm glad you can make it. Dawn, don't forget to add #Sandy so you can be entered into my $25 giveaway if you would like to. And that's to my Etsy shop. We're doing the same thing that I did a couple of weeks ago. Oh, there's no sound. Okay. Got it. Just a second. Volume is awfully low. Okay, let's see if I can fix that. Is that better? Hopefully that just fixed it. Because if that's the case, I had my mic muted. Oh gosh. Hopefully I just didn't scream at you, Dawn. All right, so let me know if that worked. Yay or nay. Oh, I hope that worked. Nay. Okay, not working. All right, let me go. Nope, not that one. To that. Can you hear me now when I get back to my normal screen? Yeah, I still can't hear you. Okay. Well, maybe that's why people haven't stayed for too long, because they weren't able to say anything. I wonder. Yeah, I don't want to mute myself. It's just that you're really super low. Okay. I wonder if. Does that help any? I just turned up the volume on my actual mic itself. See if that works at all. But, oh, I can see little green buttons on my volume thing over here. So hopefully that worked. Hopefully that helped. And now I can hear you. Okay, hopefully I wasn't screaming at you. So hopefully I wasn't screaming. Okay, so let's go back down to the bead mat and make sure that that is working. Okay, so yes. Okay, so that's showing. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Love it. Oh, I'm trying to do, there we go. I'm trying to do Colleen's little thing. All right, thank you guys. All right, so this is back to here. So for those that have just coming back, I'm going to see if I can get us some more viewers. I'll be back. Awesome. Thank you, Don. So those that have just come back in, I'm doing a $25 giveaway to my Etsy shop to where you can use it on anything in my Etsy shop. To be entered in that, if you can put down hashtag Sandy. So hashtag and then SANDY, and you'll be entered for that. And we'll do that drawing at the end. So I'm going through the videos that I did over the last couple of weeks, and this was the second video that came out, and this was the bracelet that I made with the Saguaro sunset. At least I think I'm saying that word right. So this is the St. Petersburg stitch, and I had shown this 2 weeks ago and had said that this was going to be the video that I was going to do, plus the earrings, plus the necklace, but I ended up just doing just this in the unboxing. One, because I was running out of time, and two, I was thinking that the necklace was just going to take up too much time on the video, and I didn't want to have something that was going to be like 2 hours long with an unboxing plus a huge long bead woven video. So I just decided just to do the bracelet. But this is one of my favorite bracelets. I really, really, really enjoy this bracelet. But looks really, really good on the wrist. Sits really well on the wrist also. It's, I don't know. It's just, I really enjoy this bracelet. I really feel like I want to get some more, maybe not the same colors, but something different. And then do some more with a St. Petersburg stitch here soon too. So that was the next one that came out. And of course my thread is all over the place. So that was that. And then oh yeah, that's right. I was like, what was the third one? The third one was this one. And we already kind of went through this already. And this was the project for the Creative Color Challenge, and the Rustic Retreat box is the one that won out of this one. So it's a crocheted bracelet, and then this was the first one that I did, and then this one is you can actually use as an anklet if you wanted to. I actually put these two together also, and you can do it as, or use it as a choker necklace. So it ended up working out just fine to do a choker necklace. So if you connect both of these together, it ends up being around 15 inches or so, and it fits around the neck really, really nicely to where it's not too tight and it's not too loose. And then it looks like that. So just something different, something neat. And then the last thing that happened, that actually just happened today, I did this earlier in the day. Thank you, Shelly, appreciate it. Did this earlier in the day. I have gotten some of the pony black needles in. The black version of these are the ones that are nickel free, so they don't have any nickel on them. So if you have a nickel allergy, then I have some of these available. These are available on my website though. The company that I purchased these from so I can resell them asked me not to be using Etsy, so I couldn't use Etsy on this one. So this one's on my website. My website is artisticreationsbydina.com. In fact, I think I'll put that in here so that way there's no confusion with spelling and all of that. So give me just a second. Make sure I spelled everything right myself. There we go. Yep. So that is my website. And when you go to my website, it's got the homepage to it. Up at the very top of the homepage is a couple of buttons. One of the buttons is shop. Yeah, I think it just says shop. And if you scroll down the page just a little bit, a little bit further down the page, there's a big, huge button that says shop here. So you can click on either one of those. And when you pull it up, this will be the only thing that you'll see at the moment. I'm eventually going to get probably everything over to my website from my Etsy shop, and then start doing the needles. I've reached out to, who is it? Beadalon, I think. Yeah, Beadalon and Beadsmith, because I absolutely love my thread burner. And then I use wildfire thread a whole lot. So I've reached out to both of them. I haven't heard anything back, but I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to have all of that on my website too. So that way, if there's things that you like, projects that I like, and everything, like, the bracelet, then hopefully I'll be able to get to a point where I can say, all right, you can go to my website and pick up the needles if you need it, or if you want to pick up the thread, if you don't have the thread, then you can go there too. So, but right now I just have this up there. So, but I have the size 11, size 10, size 12, and then there's also a package where you get a total of 2 of each of those sizes in there. So that's all the packages are a quantity of 6. So the one will have 2 of the 10s, 2 of the 11s, and 2 of the 12s. And they're $3.75 a pack. So depending on which one that you want. So that I just did actually a couple hours ago. So it's brand new to my website. So if you're interested in that, you can always check that out. So the next thing I want to show you real quick is what's coming up, hopefully at the weekend. I do have this video recorded. I just have to edit it, and that's what I plan on doing later on this afternoon, is go through some editing. And we're going to be doing some gemstone orphanage stuff. So I have both my baby, or doorstep baby, plus my little sister, and the little sister we're going to work on here in a little bit. But this is going to be the project that's going to be at the end of the unboxing of both of those. So I did an unboxing for both, and then we're going to have this quick little project of making the earrings. So these are the earrings that we're going to use, or we're going to make on that tutorial. So I really love these colors. These colorways are really, really pretty. So that's going to be what that's going to end up being. I'm kind of excited about that one. All right, so let's get to beading. I'm getting to that point where I'm tired of talking about stuff that I've worked on. And I'm not tired of it, but, one of those things. Time to take a break with talking. So what I'm using in this earring, this is the earring that I had shown a couple weeks ago that I said I was going to do during the unboxing of the Saguaro Sunset. But they use the little rondelle packs. So these are the rondelle pieces that came in the kit. And I'm just picking out the white or the cream colored ones. And eventually I'll do something that has everything else in there. But right now we're just going to pick out the little white or cream colored ones. I'm going to go ahead and get a ear wire out, so I can have that here. So hello to everybody. If you are just now joining in, don't forget to put down hashtag Sandy. That's hashtag or the number symbol and then SANDY. You'll be entered into a $25 giveaway at the end of the live to my Etsy shop. So I just got my other ear wire out, and then I have the chandelier pendants that came in the kit too. Now the colors of the seed beads, I'm using 15 O's and 4213. I think that's the right number. There was a mix-up when I did these little extra tags. I did 4213 on 2 different colors. So this is either 4213 or it might be 4212. But it's somewhere around in there. But it is Duracoat Galvanized Dark Mauve is the color of this, the 15-0. So that part is correct. The Duracoat Galvanized Dark Mauve. So there's when I came back into your live. Apparently I was in Heather's and not yours. Oh, it's all good. And then the 11-0 that I'm using is, I don't have this listed, but this is Duracoat Galvanized Matte Champagne. I had to think about that. Duracoat Galvanized Matte Champagne. And then that number is 4204F as in Frank. So that's the 11-O's. Actually, I'm going to get a few more out because this uses up a bunch of 11-O's. There we go. All right. So that's the amounts that you'll need. Oops. I feel like I'm throwing things. I think I threw a bead somewhere. Oh well, I'll find it eventually. Either that or my cat will. One of the 2 cats. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to make this connection point right here. Actually, No, we'll go ahead and do these two guys. So what we're going to do is this portion first, and then that way we can get these attached to here. So it's basically a little right angle weave unit, and it's kind of a double right angle weave. It's just a little bit slightly different than what I typically do. So what we're going to start off with is 8 of our 11 O's. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 11 O's, and I'm using one of the Pony brand nickel-free needles today, just to kind of get used to them and everything and see the difference. And so far I haven't noticed any difference whatsoever, other than they don't have nickel on them. But I almost feel like the black actually helps to see where you're going in the project and everything. So I actually kind of like these quite a bit. So now we're going to end up doing the double right angle weave portion, but right now we're just going to go through the first 2 beads. And then if you came in later, I love those. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. But if you came in a little later, there may be a time that I may have to jump out real quick and then come back, because I am trying to be good to my little puppy, to Captain, and let him stay out while I'm doing this live. So we'll see if this was working. So far, I had to check on him once, and he was doing just fine. But so yeah, so if I get up and leave real quick, then that's what it is. Is that he's making some sort of noise and I got to go check on him in the kitchen. So I picked up one of the 15 O's. Then I'm going to go through the next 2 beads. And then I'm going to do that 3 more times. So pick up a 15 and go through the next 2 beads, just like that. And then a 15, go through the next 2. And then another 15 and go through the next 2. Just like that. Get it a little bit closer so you can see it. There you go. All right, so now we're going to make just a little decoration here on the edge. Since this was a southwestern type theme, I thought let's kind of make it look more southwestern. So to me, just having something like this little decoration and everything, just, I don't know, just made it look a little bit more southwestern to me. So I picked up 2 more of 11 O's, and I'm just going to circle through that 15. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next 15 while I'm at it. But I'm going to make sure that those 2 beads just sit like that. So they kind of sit as a square stitch almost look to it. But that's all I'm doing on this part. Just pick up 2 11s and then move to the next one again. And then sometimes some of these 15s are kind of tight. Yeah, like this one. This one's tight. So sometimes I have to grab my pliers and I'm wiggling. Hopefully I don't break this. Okay, good. I didn't break the bead. But you just wiggle with your pliers until it goes through the bead. Sometimes you have to change down to a size 12 needle, because I am using the size 11 needles. That's usually my go-to needle size unless I need it to be smaller. But this should be the last time that we're going through the 15s, except for the connection portion. So that's that one. And then we'll do the last one. Just like that. And then I'm going to proceed through the next 2 11 O's. I'm not going to go through that 15 again yet. Not until I figure out where I'm going to connect everything. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to pick up one of the rondelles, and then I'm going to pick up one of the 15s. And make sure, yeah, that's how I did it. Okay. then I'm going to let that go down to the project. I flipped it around, so now the thread is back up at the top. Where I'm coming out is up at the top again. I'm going to skip that 15-0, go back through the rondelle. And then what I'm going to do is go down to the bottom down here, and I'm going to go through these 2 beads, going in basically the opposite direction, so like this. And what I'm going to do next is, one, make sure that this is sitting as close to the center as possible. So all I did is just held on to the 15-0 there and then tugged on the thread to get that rondelle to sit down closer. And then I'm going to go through the next 2 11s that are sitting there. These earrings are unique and beautiful. Thank you. Love how you connected the 2 units with the beaded ring. How long are they? That is a good question. I will get my tape out here in a second. Yep, I have one right there. I'll get my tape out in a second and I'll let you know. And then I'm going to go through, after that, I'm going to go through the rondelle again and the seed bead. And then, so basically I'm just rounding through everything again. And then go back through the rondelle. And I'm flipping in my hands again so I can know which side I was on already. Oh, okay. Something went click. I was like, no, don't break. No breaking of beads. Not today. All right, so I have 2 down there. There it is. All right, so I was looking for my thread paths. I couldn't remember where they were at. So I have 1 thread path that's coming out right here. And so I want this on the opposite side. So I'm going to go down this way. I don't think it really matters too much because you're not going to see this portion of it. You're just making sure that that kind of sits in the center. So you basically just do what you can to get your rondelle to sit in the center right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through this 15-0 that's sitting here. And that's so I can get down to, oh, maybe I'm not going to go through that one. That one's kind of tight. Let's see. Is this one okay? That one seems like it's okay. All right, so I'm going to skip over to that one. Let me make sure that this one's okay down here too, because I'll have to go through both of these. Yeah, okay, they should be okay. So I'm going to go through that 15. Oh, this may be the one that I had to use the pliers. Okay, it went. And then go up the 11 that my needle doesn't want to go up. I hope that is my watch telling me that there's lightning in the area, because we really need some rain in the area now. We have not had a lot of rain. Lightning has been detected. Yay! So maybe we'll get some rain. All right, I'm getting one of my wire guards out real quick, so I'll do the wire guard first. And then the only difference between the top one and the bottom one down here is that the top one you add the wire guard, and then the other side you attach to one of your connector items. And then the other one you just connect to the other end. So that's the only difference between the two. Other than that, it's the same process. All right, so we go up and down the wire guard, and then I pinch it just a little bit when I'm working with 11-0s just to make it sit a little bit easier. Then I'm going to go down the other seed bead sitting here. I'm going to flip it to the back, and there's a reason for that. Went down the other seed bead, so now the wire guard's sitting there at the top. Now I want to go through this at least one more time. With it being an earring, I don't think you're going to need more than 2 thread pass, but I always like to have at least 2 thread pass through a wire guard. So what I'm going to do is just go straight over to the 11-0 on the first 11-0 that I went through, just like that. And my needle's actually going through the wire guard right away too. And I flipped it to the back, so that way that little itty bitty small piece of thread that you're probably not going to see whether it's on the front or the back anyway is sitting on the back. That's just preference. No rhyme or reason why that's sitting there other than that. So go down the other side, and then I'm going to get myself down here towards the bottom. So hopefully I can get through that 15-0 again one more time. If it doesn't work, if you are having issues getting through your 15s, you can either change to a size 12, a smaller needle. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't because of the coating of some of these beads. If it does not work, just skip that bead. Just go through these 2 beads over here off to the side. So I'm going to try to go through the 15 first and see what it does. And then sometimes when you get started on it, like this is not even getting in there. So when you try to go through there and it's just not going, just skip it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see that thread path. And then I'm just going, come on, none of this is working. Great. There we go. Now it's working. All right. So I just skipped over that and see how you're really not going to see that piece of thread that's sitting there. So you don't even really see it on the front side. So it'll be fine, I think. I'm going to get myself down to this guy. And then go down the 11-0 sitting here. And then now we're going to attach it to our connector. So I went ahead and I flipped it around to the front. So everything's on the front now. And I'm just going to use this center hole here in the connector because there's 5 holes down here in the bottom. I'm just using that center one. So I'm going to go through the center hole. I'm going to go ahead and go from the front to the back. And then I'm going to go up through that same bead again. That is on the left-hand side. And I'm trying to hold this all so where you can kind of see it. Just like that. And then I'm going to jump over and go down the right-hand bead. So now I'm going down the right hand. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to go through the front to the back. And then go back up the right-hand bead. Just like that. Now, with me, I like to have extra thread pass in just about everything I do, so I'm going to do this one more time. So that's another reason why I'm doing all of these loops on the back side also. So that way, this part would probably be seen a little bit if you were to use the front side. So I'm going to go down the left-hand bead. Right now it's on the back side. Just like that. And then I'm going to go from the back to the front this time. And go through that same left-hand side bead. I'm on the back side again, go down the right-hand bead, and then do the same thing. And then after that, we just have to tie off. And then this portion is done. So go through the right-hand bead. Hello. Hi, Dorothy. How are you doing? I'm glad you can make it. Don't forget, Dorothy, if you'd like, you can enter my $25 giveaway and put the word #Sandy to be entered in for the giveaway. And I'll be doing the giveaway at the end of the live, and it'll be $25 to my Etsy shop. And I think there's only been 3 entries, 4 entries. Yeah, I only have 3 entries so far. So far your odds are really good. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm going through the beadwork until I get to where my starter thread is right here. And then I'm just going to tie off. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom side. So I'll do the same process for the bottom. The only difference, like I said earlier, is that I'm just not going to add a wire guard to it. It'll just be just the little component. And then we'll start working on the middle component. But before I start doing that, I'm going to measure it so I can see how long it is, because that I have not done yet. All right. So that is the top done, and then we'll do the bottom part done here in just a second. Let me sit this down so I can get a good measurement on it. And then it is approximately 3.5 inches long with the ear wire that I chose. Now the actual beaded portion, it's going to be about 3 inches long. So the actual ear wire adds about an extra 1/2 inch or so, something like that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what it is. And then just in case, if you need this, it is about 90 centimeters, 9 centimeters, so 90 millimeters. And then the without the ear wire and everything, that's what, approximately 75 it looks like, somewhere around in there. So that kind of gives you an idea how long it is. All right. Whoops. I almost got the thread off the needle. Pulled on it too far. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this one a little bit faster. 7, 8. So I wonder what everybody else is working on. Anybody working on any projects right now that they would like to share out of any of the kits? I've really enjoyed a lot of the kits from the different companies this month. It's like I haven't watched the Softflex unboxing yet. I haven't watched that one yet. I don't get the Softflex one as often anymore, just because financially I have to kind of pick and choose at the moment of which ones I can get and which ones I have to kind of say I'm sorry I can't get at the moment. So you're welcome, Shelly. But I have a feeling I'm really going to like it, so I think that's why I haven't watched it yet. Have an order for 6 Life Story of Jesus bracelets. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I'm not sure what those are. Thanks to Dawn, I made it. Oh, thank you, Dawn, for grabbing other people. All right, so I'm adding the extra little embellishment around the edge. There we go. Yeah, I'm really, really liking these black needles because I feel like people can see things a little bit better. It's almost like the thread, and I hate using, well, I don't hate it, but I know sometimes using the lighter colored thread in the videos, it's sometimes hard to see the thread paths, especially if you're newer with beading. That sometimes it's just harder to see. So I think maybe using these black colored needles, that would help to kind of compensate for that, because you can now see that I'm going through that one bead, and then I'm moving through the next bead, and so on and so forth. It's like I'm one that I like to do kind of a sample, and sometimes my sample ends up being a full project, but sometimes it doesn't. Oh, hi, Kylie. Now I have the other kitty cat coming to say hi. Here you go, sweetie. You need room? Yeah? You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, there's Kylie. Yeah, you're going to stick your head... Okay, you're rubbing up against the mic. Yeah. Oh, yeah, see... Oh, you want pettins? Oh, uh-huh. You're going to rub against the mic, aren't you? Yeah, I'm sorry. Mommy's a little busy at the moment. Is that okay? You say no? You say you're going to try to get in my lap anyway? Oh, hi. Yeah. Her nose is like right up here at my nose. She's like, pay attention to me. Okay, fine. I'll move. She got down. I'll send you a picture of one along with the story. Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's see. How did I do this last time? What you doing, Kylie? Honey, I can't see through you. She's literally standing in between me and my beadwork right now. Kylie. Yeah, you. I can't see through you, sweetie. Oh, wait, I forgot to go back through the bead. See? we're forgetting steps now. No, don't flick your foot at me. You're funny, kitty cat. Oh, hi, you're back. No, don't wrap your tail around my face, too. Come on. She's really wanting attention. Now you're hitting. No, you would stop. Okay, honey. I know. Oh, now we're going to start purring. Okay, we'll say hi to everybody. See, I'll let you say hi. See if I can figure out which one it is. I always pick the wrong one. There. See? You can say hi, Kylie. Say hi to everybody. She goes, I hate to be held. Why are you holding me, Mommy? All right. Back to beadwork. Had a kitty distraction. All right. Oh, man. What do we do with our fours? Can't live with them, can't live without them. Yeah, that's my daughter's cat. If you don't know, some of y'all probably know that already, but that's my daughter's cat. My kitty cat said hi earlier in the live, the very beginning. And my kitty cat is Cosmos. She's a black kitty. And she's got white tuxedo markings. So she's got a white chest marking, and she's got white paws. And it's really kind of neat because she's got one of her paws is almost completely white, and even the paw pads are pink. But then the other 3 paws have just a little bit of white on them, and her paw pads are all black on those other 3 paws. So she's got one paw that's completely pink paw, and then the rest of them are black on the paw pads. So it's kind of neat. I love how genetics works like that. Like, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to biology and genetics and chemistry and stuff like that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dorothy. That's never a fun thing to go through. Our 4-leggeds never live with us long enough to... I mean, it seems like it's just not fair that they only live for a fraction of our lifetime, essentially. I hope you're doing okay with it, because I know it can be rough. It's kind of a hard time. A hard time to get through. She was 15 and was with me 14 years. Wow. See, that's amazing too. To be able to have your dog live to be 15 years old. That's amazing. They help create a lot of memories, that's for sure. Like, I've actually not had too many months in my life without an animal of some sort. When I was born, my parents had a beagle, and we had her. Her name was Buffy. We had her for 5 years, I believe. I think I was 5 when we had to get rid of her because we moved into a new house where we lived at the time. And my parents were just a single income family, and we couldn't afford to put a fence around the backyard yet. And so my dad is pretty handy with stuff. He does a lot of building things and everything. I mean, he's an engineer, so he's pretty handy with things. Oh, hi, Kylie, you're back. And he built a doghouse for Buffy. And so we had her in the backyard, and we had purchased, I think it was like maybe a 75-foot chain, something like that. It was either 50-foot or 75-foot, something like that, chain. And she had plenty of room to run around and things like that. But like I said, we just didn't have the money to get a fence. Well, some of our neighbors felt like that was inhumane, and basically got law enforcement involved, and they came by the house and they said, you're either going to have to get a fence or you're going to have to get rid of her. So unfortunately, I was 5 years old and I had my first animal taken away from me and didn't handle that very well. But my mom decided to go and get a cat, unbeknownst to my dad's knowledge. And that's a very interesting story because the cat that we got, his name was Cotton, and he was an all-white cat, and he had blue eyes. And so we named him Cotton. And Cotton and my dad did not get along very well. So my dad did not know that my mom was going to go pick up a cat. My mom picked up me and my sister and told my dad, we're going to go shopping. And my dad just assumed grocery shopping. And then we come home with a cat. So that was always interesting and fun. And there's some other funny stories about the first day that we brought home Cotton also, but some of them are not appropriate to talk on on basically live TV. So we won't go into very many of those, just to say that Cotton and my dad did not get along very well at all. But so yeah. So we got Cotton, and then a couple of years later we got Coco. That was my first black kitty cat. And sorry, I was getting some water there for a second. We got Coco, and then I want to say it was maybe 5 years after that, 5 or 7 years after that. It was a little bit of the time gap. We ended up getting Carrie, and she was a gray tabby. And Carrie came from my friend named Carrie, so we named the cat after her. So we had Cotton, Coco, and Carrie at that time, and then Cotton passed away first. He was 17. No, sorry. No, Coco passed away first. She was 14. She had breast cancer, actually. And, of course, we didn't have the money to be able to take care of her in that way. So she passed away first, and then Cotton passed away and when he was 17. And then Carrie passed away when she was 17. And then when I had Carrie, my husband and I got married. And then 2 years after we got married, we got Copper, which was our first golden retriever. And then we got Kahlua and Cleopatra. Those are both 2 black cats as well. And then Copper passed away first. And no, Carrie passed away after that. Goodness gracious. A couple years after we got the two kittens, and then Copper passed away at age 7. And golden retrievers, unfortunately, can pass away at early ages like that. So that was kind of rough, especially for my husband, because he really wanted a dog. But he passed away at 7, and then both Kahlua passed away at 14 again, and then Cleo passed away at 17. So I have like this theme of 14, 17-year-old kitty cats passing away. So, but my 2 kitty cats that I have right now are Cosmos and Cleo, and they are both, what do we figure out? 4 years old, 3 years old? I think they're 3 years old. So, but that's who we have at the moment, as well as Casper. And Casper he's also a golden retriever. He is 12. Yeah. He's either 12 or 13. We're in 2026. He turns 13 this year, so he's 12 years old. And then Captain is only 9 months, and he's my Bernese Mountain Dog. So, yeah, good memories. Oh, yeah, definitely. Same here. Grew up with fur babies. Yep, I need coffee. Yeah, I'm about to go get myself some coffee too. It's like I need to pick me up. It's been a long week. All right, so black Cocker Spaniel growing up that had breast cancer. Yeah, she was at least 16. Yeah, that's what Cleo had. She had breast cancer and it had spread to her brain. And by the time we had figured out what was going on and everything, and we're like, no, we're just gonna have to say goodbye. So she lived a nice long life. Okay, so now I am going to make this little portion right here. And this is more of right angle weave. So this part, we're going to do a circular right angle weave. So I'm just going to put 4 beads on the needle and thread, which I'm probably going to have to add thread before this is all said and done. And then I'm just going to go back through the first 3 beads. So we have just a nice raw unit there. Then I'm going to pick up 3 more beads. And then I'm going to circle back through the thread, or the bead that's coming out of right now, just like that, to create the next roll unit. And I'm going to do that for a total of, I think it was 10. I may have to sit and count in just a second, because it's been actually a minute since I've made this one. All right, so we're starting there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think it is 10. And how I did that to count that, I counted the spaces in between. So this is raw unit 1, this one's 2, the next one would be 3 with that space. So to get there, we have to go through that outer edge. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Get our hearts broken. Oops, I only need 3. And then we just move through the raw unit until we get to the outer edge again, and then do the next one. So all right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is unit number 5. So we want to do this 9 times, and then your 10th unit, we're actually going to connect this into a circle. So just make sure that you have 9 of your units here done in this way. And hello to people. It's been over an hour now that I've been on, so hopefully you're able to say hello. If you're not, it might be because you're not a subscriber for at least an hour. I do believe I still have that set up. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then in about an hour or so, you will be able to come back and say hello. I always like to see who's here, what projects they're working on, things like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. And then if you are able to say hello, then go ahead and put hashtag Sandy. So hashtag or the number sign, and then the word Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y, and you'll be entered in for a $25 giveaway to my Etsy shop. 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is 9. All right, so this last one, after I get myself over to the right edge, is going to be the connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to taco this together. I love that terminology. And then I am coming out of this bead right here, going downwards. I'm going to pick up just one bead. I'm going to go through this bead from the very beginning, going from the bottom to the top. Pick up another bead. And then I'm going to go back through the same bead that I came from on the other side. As soon as I figure out which bead that is, I just got myself confused. Nope, this one. All right. Got myself confused there for a second. Which does happen when you're doing raw units like this. All right, so that first portion is done. So now we have 10 units. So now I just flipped it around to where my thread's on the left-hand side. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up through the bead on the left side here. So this is the left-hand bead of that one raw unit. I'm going to pull tight just to make sure everything's tight at the moment. Make sure to hit the like button. Yes, please. Yes, definitely hit the like button for me. Definitely lets YouTube know that what I produce is what people like. They like to see the things that I'm producing, so that lets YouTube know to keep going. So I'm coming out of this bead here, picked up a bead, and then I'm going to go to the next raw unit, and then just go straight through that one. So that's all we're doing on this part, is just making some extra little stability to this ring. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add it to here. Oh, good gracious. Okay, hold on. Backing up, I totally forgot to add it to my earring, because we have to do that first before we can start doing anything else. At least I didn't get too far before I realized I messed up. All right, trying to go through. Okay, there we go. That is funny. All right. Okay, now we've got our strip back. Okay, that first bead is still on there, so I'm just going to leave it on there for right now. So I'm going to pick up my ear wire, and thank God you caught it. I know, right? I'm going to pick up my earring because I want my earring to sit like this. So I'm going to go ahead and sandwich these two together also. So that way both of the front facing portions are facing each other like that. And then I'm just going to go straight through here. And then just make sure to hang on to the other end so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so I still have that first bead on. And then I'm going to go through the first bead from the first raw unit over here. So I'm basically doing what I just did that I just took out. Except, of course, I have it on the wrong side, on the opposite side of what I just did. But it's the same process that I just did. Pick up another bead, figure out where your raw unit is at, and then go through that one right there. All right, now we're connected. So now we can start working on adding the extra beads for stability. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed through the first bead here. That is on the left-hand side. And it is a little wobbly. It's kind of hard to hold on to. And I had that problem when I was doing this too, until I got a little bit further down this step. It's just a little wonky to be able to hold on to it. But I am coming out of that left-hand bead of this raw unit right here. I want to go to the next roll unit in line that's on the left-hand side and just go straight through that bead. And we're going to do this all the way until we get to the other end, or back around to the beginning, basically. So this is probably, it's not difficult to do this, but it's, as far as trying to hold on to everything and maneuver around stuff, it's probably the toughest part of this earring, is just trying to hold on to it to make sure you're not losing anything and things are still moving in the right direction basically for you. And I think our rain here in the Houston area that I live in, the portion I lived in, I think it went away because it is still bright and blue skies out there outside my window. I see just one little itty bitty small cloud out there. I need some free water on my lawn. It's starting to get expensive when you have 100+ degree weather every day. All right, I think this is the next, or this, yep, this is the last one. Okay, so that's my starter thread. So this will be the last one that I'm going to put on. So I'm going to go through that first one that we went through, that we started out in, and then add our last bead. And then I'm going to move through this raw unit. So I'm going to go across the top and then over to the right hand side. So basically I just moved up one raw unit. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough thread to get through the whole thing, but then I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. So I'm coming out of that one raw unit. I'm going to go to the next raw unit and go through that raw bead. That raw bead? And go through that bead in the raw unit. Goodness gracious. Uh-oh. No, that's my cat eating. Okay. I was making sure Captain wasn't doing anything. So for anybody that is here, there's a, yeah, I know, named Dolly. And that's the crazy thing, because Dolly Parton passed away yesterday, the day before, something like that. And then right afterwards, there's the tropical depression, I think it is, called Dolly. I'm like, oh my. I haven't looked at it yet today to see where they're expecting it to go today, but I knew it was still out in the Atlantic, so it's kind of still a wild card at the moment as to where it's going to go, but I thought that was kind of ironic that the day of or the day after she passes away, there's a storm with her same name. But for those that are here, because I know it looks like there's 9 people watching now, so hello to everybody. And Tim Curry died the same day. Oh, wow. In the same exact age. That's so weird. Oh, that is weird. Wow. So for anybody that is watching, hi Cosmo, that has just come in, if you're able to put in the word hashtag Sandy, so hashtag SANDY, to be entered in for my $25 gift card to my Etsy shop at the end of the live. So now we're going to just do some embellishment. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to work around the actual raw unit. So the raw unit is bead number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just those 4 beads. So I just pick up a 15-0 coming out of the right hand side right now. We're going to go through the top bead. You don't have to do this part. It's just something I wanted to add a little extra to. Pick up another 15 coming out of the top. We're going to go through the left hand side. Pick up your next 15, go down to the bottom. Just gives it a little bit more of stability there again to help out with keeping the earring straight and stuff. And then pick up your last one and go through the first bead first. Again, first bead again. So then that's what we're going to do with each of our units. So then we're going to move to the next unit, which just go back through that top bead, and that top bead now becomes the bottom bead. And then we're going to do the same thing, and I'm probably going to have to add thread. Uh-oh. Whoops, that's a bead that's not going to go through. Well, hello. Thank you for entering. Oh gosh. I am not quite sure what your name is, but hello, welcome. I'm glad you made it here. It's not going to do anything except expect it to dissipate. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Because I think I found out about it yesterday, and yesterday was my 11-hour shift at the pharmacy. So what did I do with my thread? There we go. So sometimes my 11-hour shifts, I have time to look at things like that, and then other times there's just no way. And it was kind of a mixture of both yesterday. It started off really busy, and then it became a little bit less busy as the night went on, but I was able to start working on other projects. But sometimes it's like that in retail pharmacy. All right. So I'm just adding my extra thread. Oh, and I know Dawn sent me that link for the mushroom thing, and I should have done that here. I forgot about it, actually, because I'm not used to it. But that mushroom way where you use the thread to create basically a mushroom and then put them together that way, that was actually pretty cool. I did that in a bracelet that I'm going to do for Gemstone Orphanage. I have actually 3 projects planned for Gemstone Orphanage. The earring is going to be on the unboxing, and then I have a bracelet and a pendant that I have planned to do. And the pendant is actually going to use my Gemstone Orphan, and then we make some designs to attach the Gemstone Orphan onto like soft flex or something like that. You know, beading string of some sort. Hi, Dina, everyone watching on TV. Just joined from California. Hi! I'm not a bead weaver, so I'm going to have to watch on replay so I can start from the beginning of this project. That would be awesome! Well, don't forget to put down hashtag Sandy, and you'll be entered into the $25 giveaway as well. And it's $25 to my Etsy shop, where you can get, you know, anything that you wanted to off of there. And so right now, I'm just adding extra embellishments. Which one am I going through? Yeah, I'm going the right way. I'm adding extra embellishments to my little raw unit here to put this earring together. And I think I want to get my little sister out. So I might end up just putting this down here in a second, because I just looked at the time, because I've been on here for almost an hour and a half now. So, and I try to be off around 4 because my daughter comes home from school and all of that. So I probably will actually put this down and work on the other one as well, because I want to be able to do that. Okay, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take this needle off real quick. But this is essentially all I did, is I just went through each one of those right angle units and then added the extra there. And then after you get done with that, you just add your ear wire, and then your earring would be done after that. So, and it's going to look like this when you get done with it. So then there's your extra little 15-0 embellishments around each one of the raw units there. So that's what that looks like. And then if you missed it, if you just came in, this ends up being with the ear wire that I chose on it, it ends up being about a 3.5-inch length of an earring. So it's kind of long, but it's also really lightweight. So, and I chose these type of ear wires just in case, because of it being a little bit longer like that, and it's lightweight, but it still has a little bit of a weightness to it. So I chose those type of ear wires so they don't fall out of the ears as easily. So I will finish that, but I want to make sure that I have some time to at least start the other project. Whoops. Actually, I'll just put it off to the side like that. Okay, so give me just a second to get my beads cleaned up because I'm using different color beads. They're similar in color, but they're different. And this next one is going to be kind of a design on the fly. I have not done this in quite some time. So we're all going to learn this together. Neither am I a bead weaver. I love watching people do it. One day I'll try it. Yeah, you definitely need to try it. If you're brand new with it, though, and you're afraid of, well, not really afraid, but just uncomfortable with using the small seed beads, start off with your 8/0s and get a couple of 8/0 colors like this. This is like one of my favorite colors. This is Mayuki's 2021. It's a matte cream color. Matte light cream, I think it is. Something like that. But this is one of my favorite colors. I use this a lot in a lot of projects. So I have like a huge container. And this container was actually almost full. So now you can tell how much I actually use it because it's only a third of the way full now. And I bought this 3 months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So I really, really, really like that color. It just goes well with a lot of stuff. But I would start off with 8/0s and then do some stitches with the 8/0s until you get comfortable with things, and then move into the 11s and the 15s after that. And that's what I would do if you're not comfortable with using seed beads. And the amazing thing with it is that you can always use gemstones. You can use check glass. You can use all sorts of stuff in bead weaving. And then this is 15/0s, and this is light bronze, I believe. Nope, dark bronze. Metallic dark bronze. And so it's number 457. If you can see that, and it's 4, 5, and that's a 7. It's kind of getting faded a little bit. Looks like I dropped water on it or something. So, and these are colors that I use a lot of. So I have a lot of neutral colors. You're welcome. The earrings are gorgeous. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, so here is my little sister from Gemstone Orphanage. Ta-da! I love her. When I knew that it was going to be a cabochon, I was like, yes! Now I get to do some bead weaving. So I got really excited when I saw that they were going to be a cabochon. So I figured these colors would go really, really well with it because the darker brown is going to pick up on some of the darker browns that are inside here. And then, of course, this neutral color brown is going to pick up on all the other neutrals. Excuse me. And get a little water again. Excuse me, hiccuping. I wish I was more of a bead waiter. I need lots more practice. I have some Mayuki Delicas I'm in love with, so I just need to practice and use larger beads. Yeah, I have Tohos. Yeah, I have some Tohos too. I have a lot more Mayuki than I do Tohos, and it's just Mayuki and Toho are so much similar to each other. They're just a slightly different size, and is the biggest. Well, size is not really the right thing. It's a slightly different shape. Mayuki is a little bit more rounded, whereas Toho is a little bit more of a box, but it's not quite Delica boxy. And that's really the biggest difference between them. Their size is just ever so slightly different than each other also. But for the most part, that's what they are. But I just learned how to do bead weaving on with my Yuki, and I've just stuck with it. So, but I have no problems getting tohos also. All right, now we're gonna see me have difficulty trying to get through the eye of the needle. There we go. So whenever you're threading your needle, what you want to do is you want to actually needle the thread. So I held the thread still, and then I was actually wiggling my needle until it got onto the thread. That's usually the easiest thing to do. The little sister sold up fast, at least before I can get one. Yeah. Yeah, they did sell out fast, and they were having some problems with the website again, so I kind of felt bad for them. But what I'm going to sorry, doing two things at once, but I felt bad for him on that one. I ended up in between using my phone and my laptop, I was able to get one into my cart. I don't remember if it was on the phone or the laptop, but I was able to get one into my cart, and then I had to like just play around the page until I got the buttons to work, and then I finally got the button to work, and then it finally said, "Okay, it's been paid for." So I was like, "Yes, okay, I got one." So, but it took probably a good 20 minutes to try to figure out how to get it checked out because they were having problems with the website again. I feel bad for him on that. But on this little guy, little gal, not guy, little gal, which by the way, I'm going to name her Kayla, Cayla. I'm going to name her Kayla. But we're going to do a brick stitch bail, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to string on a whole lot of beads, and I'm going to get it to where my string of beads is going to be completely around the edge of Kayla. So, and this one you don't even have to make sure that you have even, odd. It really doesn't matter because we're going to do, it's not brick stitch. It's square stitch, excuse me, square stitch around this. Brick stitch is, it's, well, it's kind of like brick stitch, but not really. But it's a square stitch. We're starting off with square stitch. So, and then this stitch you really don't have to worry about if you have even or odd. Whereas with peyote, when you're going around products like this and everything, it's a lot easier to do an even count peyote than it is an odd count when you're going in a circle like this. It could still be done with an odd count. It's just a little bit more difficult, a little bit more advanced. So I'm just picking up a whole lot of beads. And I'm starting off with the 8/0s just because obviously I have a whole lot of 8/0s of this color. And then just trying to make it to where it's going to be completely around the stone. And we don't want it to be too tight, but we also don't want it to be too loose. So the good thing with cabochons, though, is that there are a nice lip to it on the side here. So with the 8/0s, I figured that was going to be almost the perfect size to be able to put around that lip. So basically we're going to put this on, and then we're going to put a layer of the 11s. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to use a layer of the 15s on both sides, but it's probably going to go at least on the back side. So it gives it a little bit more stability on the back. But the front, I may not use that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's my niece's name, Kayla. Oh, well, she's got a pretty Caribbean type name. And now I've got way too many beads. All right, so now I'm going to hold this together and then try to figure out how many beads I need to take off. So you can kind of see there on the left-hand side where they kind of overlap. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 beads come off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'll take off 8. Oh, hello. 11s are sticking to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And then we'll measure again and see if that'll work. Yeah, I may still have to take off another one. Okay, what we're going to do to make this a little bit easier is I'm going to pull this down to the end of the thread until I have just a little bit to hang on to. And then I'm going to go through just a couple of beads. Just realized I was not on camera. Go through a couple of beads and make a loop like that. That way you can play with your tension. So I'm just holding it up against the edge of the bead mat, and you can see how loose it is right now. So I'm just going to pull on both ends and see if there's any gaps, and see that there's a gap down here at the bottom. So I'm almost thinking this is probably going to be fine, because once you start adding in the other beads, but I'm almost afraid of making it too tight, because I want it to go around the stone. Wow, you can actually pick up the stone. That's cool. Just like that. All right, so playing, sorry. So I think I might go ahead and add in that other bead, that one last bead again. So with it being gemstones, that's the other thing, is that sometimes it's kind of hard to do an exact count on certain things, because my gemstone may be one size and then yours may be slightly different. So it's definitely one of those things that sometimes it's hard for me to say, oh, put on 56 beads and then go around your stone. But, you know, your stone may be just slightly bigger than mine, or slightly smaller or something like that. So, all right. So when you do it again, that looks really, really good. Just like that. All right. So that is our first round. So now all we're going to do is I'm just going to start right where I ended up landing right there. I'm going to pick up one of my 11-0s. And so I'm coming out of this bead right here. And then I'm going to square stitch this on. So I'm just going to move straight through the bead in the same direction that the thread's going in right now. And then put that 11-0 on. Just make sure it sits kind of the way that you want it to. Just like that. So it kind of sits on top of the 8-0. Then you move to the next bead and you do the same thing. Now, of course, it's really, really loose right now because I'm holding on to the other end. It'll get tightened pretty quick. So pick up another 11-0 and then just move through that same bead in the same direction. And that I just went through the next bead in line right away also. And there you go. Then that puts those on. So that's all I'm doing on this next section. So this will take a minute. And then, Shasta, did you see what Colleen did with hers? It turned out really cool. No, I haven't. Oh, I didn't know that was Shasta. Hi, Shasta. I'll look for it next. Nothing like a good call video. I know, right? I love watching Colleen. She's so sweet. And the different designs that she comes up with is just amazing. She's been very, very helpful since the very beginning of me starting to do my own YouTube stuff. When I had reached out to Gemstone Orphanage last year, and just before I did my first video for him and everything, and Colleen found me, and we've been talking ever since about things, and she just helps out so much. All right, and I'm trying to keep my tension good because it's kind of failing in a couple of places here. The good thing about doing it in this way, though, is that if you end up with spots like that where they're kind of getting loose, because this little section right here is a little loose, I can go through my 8-0s one more time when I'm done putting my 11-0s on, And I still have plenty of thread or plenty of room in 8/0s to go through it again. So, because we'll have the 11/0s on this side, but then we're going to also have 11/0s on the other side of this bead. So I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can, but I probably should have put a stop bead on it or tied it in a knot. But you can always tighten stuff up. On most stitches, when you're doing bead weaving and everything, you can do that. You can do a lot of tightening up with it and stuff. So that's 345. Okay. I probably should have done part of this beforehand so I can say, and by the magic of video, here's one half done already. But I did not. It's been kind of a week for the last couple of weeks for myself. A lot going on family-wise. My family and my husband's family, so one of those things. Not all we ask for at the moment is just prayers for my dad and for my mother-in-law. So those that know what's going on, they know. But I'm not quite sure how either one of them feel about me blabbing to the whole world their problems right now. So definitely not going to say much more than just that. Just need some prayers. And sometimes my dad is on here, or my sister, but I haven't seen either one of them. I talked to him earlier today, but I forgot to tell him that I was going live today, so he may be doing other stuff. He's retired, so he likes to play his computer games and sit around and do whatever retired people do these days. All right. So this stitch goes by really fast. It's just that we have so many beads right now that we're adding to this that it's just taking a minute. But it does go by quickly. And I'm also trying to keep it tight enough. So definitely if you try this, you probably want to have at least a stop bead on. And it might be a little bit easier to hold on to tension and stuff like that. But I'm definitely not taking all this out just to put a stop bead on right now, which I can probably thread it and go in the opposite direction, but it's fine. If I have to make it tighter, I can always go through the beads like I was talking about. Asking for prayers is enough no need to say why. Well, thank you. So yeah, whoops, I just got myself with the needle. Lovely. So earlier in the live, I had said that I try my best to keep the every other week thing going on. So I'm trying my best to do that, but it may or may not be the case here soon that I'll be able to do that every other week, just depending on what's going on. In September, though, I will be going to, at least at the moment, I will be going to Hagerstown to go to Potomac Beads bead retreat. So those that may not know, I do videos for Potomac Beads also. That's how I started doing YouTube, is started doing videos for Allie, I think in 2021 or 2022. So I've got several projects out on her site. And the last year or so, year and a half or so, I've kind of been concentrating on my own thing. But I have some ideas that I have come up with recently that I just need to get in touch with her and pitch her the ideas and everything and see what she likes. And then, so I may have some more videos coming out, hopefully before the end of the year for them too. Just depending on what's going on. So, but I do definitely try to keep my every other week, if possible, on the live because I love doing this. This is actually kind of fun. I never in a million days would have ever thought that I was going to be live worldwide on a platform that allows me to do crafting. It's like I never would have thought this when I was younger. But here we are. Uh-ohs. And that is Casper barking at somebody. And I bet Captain's about to start barking too. Because Captain is out. And I don't know if that is my daughter coming home. Let me see if this tells me. Sorry, I'm looking at my watch, going through my text messages real quick. No, okay, that shouldn't be my daughter yet. I don't think she's out of school just yet. So I don't know what he's barking at. But I'm actually kind of surprised that Captain's not barking too. Oh gosh, I almost just lost the whole thing just then. Okay, so yeah, anybody that's trying this, definitely put a stop bead on because I almost just lost everything and I would have been crying. Okay. This is one of the problems. Oh, maybe that is my daughter. I don't know. I hear something out there. It sounds like somebody's going through the door, but maybe not. Maybe she started to go through the door, realized the puppy was out, and is going to go through the garage. Because I don't think that's my dryer making noises. Anyways, Casper's still going nuts. I'm trying to at least get this done so I can show you the next step before I get off. And there we go. Oh, that's what it is. Somebody's here mowing the lawn. All right. So that's probably our neighbors' people. Because my guy usually comes on Fridays. So we're just getting serenaded by the puppy dog. Casper is your ring camera. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. As he goes through his high-pitched bark just then. Oh, I got really loose there again. Come on. All right. Let me see if that'll help. See if I can hold on to it and leave it like that. Because the next step after this is actually really, really simple for those that don't know how to do the square stitch. And it's actually kind of really fun too, because it comes together and you're like, wow, that's so cool. So, wow, excuse me. I need to drink some more water again. But so if this is something that interests you and you like for me to do a video on this, I have plenty of other cabochons that I can do something similar to this to. So if you'd like to see a video like this, then just let me know. And I can work on something. It's like I have a lot of different cabochons of different sizes, shapes, and everything. So there we go. How old is your puppy? What kind of dog? Casper is a 12-year-old golden retriever. He'll be 13 in December. And I have Captain, who is a 9-month-old Bernese Mountain Dog, who is a lot bigger than Casper. Casper is about 62 pounds, something like that. The last time we weighed him, I think he was around 62, 65, something like that. And Captain is probably getting close to 80 pounds now, if not over that. So, and he's only 9 months, or not even 9 months. He turns 9 months in September because his birthday is at the very beginning of December. So, I have a lot of dog and a lot of cat in my house because I have 2 cats also. I have Cosmos and Kahlua. No, wait. I went through all my cat names and dog names earlier. I have Cosmos and Kylie. Yes, please. Would love to see more of this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely work on a video then. I will definitely work on a video showing you how to do this because I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of it. Because like I said, my daughter does get off of school and she's probably going to be like, "Really? You're live?" when she walks in. And she's probably going to have a whole lot of homework. She's still in high school, but she's an 11th grader this year. And the first day of school, she came back and she's like, "I have homework." I was like, "Yeah? What did you expect? You're going back to school." And she's like, "No, I have a lot of homework." I was like, "Yeah, welcome to upper school, kid." All right, so basically, after I get that done, I just want to make sure that this is not going to be too loose or too tight. So we are a little loose because my tension just got really, really, really bad there for a little while. But okay, so now we're a little bit better now that I've tightened it up a little bit. So really all we need to do on this next step is I went through that first bead again. I'm going to go from, make sure I'm on screen here. So I'm coming out of this bead right here on this side. I'm going to go to that 11-0 and just go straight through that 11-0. And then all we do is go to the next 11-0 and go straight through that one, and so on and so forth. So all we're doing is we're just connecting these 11-0s. And like I had said earlier, I don't know for sure if I'm going to do the 15s on this side. The only difference between what we would do on this side compared to the other is that we would go through that first 11-0 here, and then I would pick up a 15, and then I would square stitch on the 15-0, and then do the same thing. Go to the next 11-0 and do the 15, and so on and so forth. So, but since I don't know if I'm going to put the 15s on the front, you know what? I'll just show how to do it on the back. I'll show a couple. So I'll pick up the 15 just like this. So imagine that there's already 15 sitting there, that I would pick up a 15 and I would go through the 11-0 here and then just move to the next 11-0, just like what we were doing with the 8-0s. And then that would sit that 15 right there, but then also connect you to the next bead. So to pick up another 15, go through that 11-0, and then the next one in line. Now my tension's horrible right now again, but you would just make sure that you have plenty of room in between the beads like that. And then at the very end, after you get all your 15s on, then you would go through all your 15s like I'm doing right now with the 11s. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off because I'm going to put this on the front side and try to get through this portion so you can see the difference. I'm not gonna go through all the 11s at the moment. I'm only gonna go through a portion of them, and then I'm gonna pick up the stone and make sure that I'm not going to make this so tight that it's not gonna fit around the stone. Uh-ohs. All right, bad thing about going back through your beadwork when you're trying to take beads out. You have to make sure you're not going to wrap around anything. Sometimes that happens. And then you got to take things out. Sometimes it's bad enough to where you actually have to, like, take it apart. All right. So now I'm going to go through, I don't know, probably about a third of these beads before I pick up the stone. So this part is pretty boring at this moment. We had a 130-pound Bernese Mountain Dog named Chico. Our 6-pound cat named Cook ruled him. That's funny. So I got a question for you then, since you have a burner or had a burner. Is this puppy stage? I've heard that it can last up to 3 years. And the puppy stage is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I am absolutely loving having a burner. But he loves to jump, and I'm still having issues with biting. So you can see a little bit of bruising and stuff on my arms. That he is still jumping on me and still kind of nipping at me a lot. So is that something that's normal, or is that something that I need to try to get more training with again? Because we did the training. We did find a trainer that's in the area, and he did pretty good with the training, but it just seems that I don't know, that he does really well for a couple of days, and then he goes back to his old ways. And then he does really good again, and then he goes back to his old ways. So I don't know if that's a normal thing, or if he's just trying to show dominance over me because he thinks I'm another dog or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you have any insight on that. Being here in the Houston area, there's not a whole lot of burners. So we're actually having to make sure that he doesn't get himself overheated. So he thinks he's a small baby. Yeah, yep. Yeah, he thinks he's a small baby, all right. And he tries to get in your lap. It's like if I had a good picture of my husband, it's like almost hilarious. My husband's kind of a big guy, but I have a picture of him sitting in one of the living room chairs, which is like a big, huge couch type chair that he loves to sit in. And you can barely see him. All you see is Captain. And Captain's just sitting there with his tongue hanging out, just smiling away and wagging his tail like crazy. He's like, yay, I'm playing with my daddy. My daddy's playing. All right, so it's kind of looking good. So that's how it's supposed to sit, and it's just kind of around the edge like that. And I keep tugging it kind of tight, but at least we can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And then I will definitely start working on a video and see if I can get something recorded. I'll use like a different, smaller, maybe a round one or something a little bit more of an easier shape to start off with. Casper. Goodness, dude. Sorry, we adopted Chico when he was 2 years old. His owner was moving to California and couldn't take him, so we didn't go through the puppy stage. Okay, no worries. But that's what I keep telling my husband. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is just puppy stage. Because when he's with Casper and trying to play with Casper, which there's a point in time that Casper just comes up to us and is just like, get me away from this thing. And, you know, I can't stand this thing anymore. But there's times that he's playing with Casper, and he's great, and he's fine, and they're wrestling and doing different things, tug of dogs and stuff like that, playing around and all. And then other times it's just like, what in the world just happened? And that is nope. Okay. I thought my daughter was home, and she's not yet. I think she just left school. And that was, that's fine and dandy, but then there's other times that it's just like, dude, what are you doing? He's just all over the place. He goes psycho nut, and he runs from one side of the house to the next. And, I don't have a huge house, but I also don't have, a real tiny house either. So it's kind of funny to see a big, huge dog do this, but one of those things. All right, so now the part that kind of gets a little difficult is making sure that your tension is good, but this is still going to fit around, which I think it will. It's working better with me sitting it down on the mat. You know what, Dina? Let's finish off this stitch. Go through these beads first. That's when I'm frustrated with myself, when I start talking to myself. You know what, Dina? Do this. Okay. Oh, hey, Dominique. I started watching your stamping thing with the what are my words? Words are not coming with me. Seed Bead Saturday. Danielle, good gracious. I started watching that, but I haven't had a chance to finish it. So I'm hoping I can finish watching that later when I'm starting to work on projects. But this is the way it's supposed to kind of work. Is just sit like that. And then I think I just need to do the back side too. But it's supposed to kind of sit like that. I'm going to have to play around with it. Like I said, this is kind of a design on the fly because I haven't done this type of a bezel in a very long time. So I may not be doing the exact correct way of doing this. But that's what it's going to kind of look like. So yeah, it's going to look something like that. So we'll see. But I'll definitely take pictures of it and everything when I'm done with it. And then I'll create another video that has probably a circular cabochon rather than this one. And goodness gracious. So I don't know. I don't think my daughter's home yet. Oh, I just got her. Uh-oh. Maybe she is now. Anyways, so with that being the case, I probably should be getting going pretty soon then, because I think she's going to be leaving. Texture plates with Daniel. Yes. So I started watching that. So I need to finish watching that because that was really pretty cool so far. So yeah, so I need to do my giveaway. So I'll give everybody a couple extra seconds here and make sure that my daughter's not home. Maybe I'll text her real quick and tell her to go through the garage. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, everybody has a chance to put in hashtag Sandy. So hashtag Sandy, and that will get you entered in for $25 off my Etsy shop that you can use for anything in my Etsy. So let me find my daughter thing here real quick. Hey, Michaela, make sure that you go through the garage. Captain is out still. Okay, make sure she knows that she needs to go through the garage. So they go through the front door. Sometimes the dog's going to try to run out. But anyways, one of those things. Hi, Heather. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be back in 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. What is 2 weeks from today? Am I back in 2 weeks or am I gone? Because I am going to Hagerstown, Maryland in September, but I leave on the 12th. So I think I still have 2 weeks. Today is what? It's 27th. There we go. Yes. So I should still have a another live. That'll be the 10th of September. So at the moment, I should still be able to do that. Okay, yeah. So I'm actually in Hagerstown in between my two lives. So so yeah, I'm going to the bead retreat and with Potomac beads. So it's gonna be fun. Oh, you're welcome, Shasta. You're welcome. But yeah, if you need to, go ahead and rewind and to see how to make this guy. Oh, you can't see that. I'm like, see how you can make this guy, and you can't even see it. Go back down to the camera. There we go. So this is the first one that we made, is that I didn't get completely through it. I ended up getting to the decoration portion of the right angle weave, to that portion. So this little portion right here, but after that, the earring's pretty much done. After that, all you have to do is just add the ear wire, and then you're set and done. So this was the earring that I was planning on making with the unboxing video. I was going to do the bracelet, earring, and necklace, but it was going to be a really, really long video, and I didn't want to end up doing that. So making it too long. So you can rewind that one. And then, like I said, I'll come out with another one. I'll do a round cabochon of some sort for this guy. So let's see if I can choose the right one. Yay. Thank you, Dom. Appreciate it. Okay, so I think it's probably to that point that we'll go ahead and make this, there we go, full screen. We'll go ahead and do our drawing. So let's see. Where's my share screen? There it is, share screen. Share screen. And then allow. And then I want to do this one. Share this window. And then we're going to go add to stage. There we go. All right, so we got 8 entries. And let's see who's going to get it this time. Nope, come on, hit it. There we go. Yay! Dawn! Yay! Congratulations, Dawn. So I will send you a link since I have your information, since we talked, I think earlier this week. So I will send you a link to that coupon code, so you can get use $25 off of anything in my Etsy shop. So congratulations, Dawn. Figure out where my mouse is. Okay, here we go. All right, so I will take that out. So congratulations. So I will get in touch with you, and I will let you know what that coupon code is and everything. And it's one that doesn't expire. So if you don't see anything that you like at the moment, then you can always use it later on down the road. So I will get in touch with you. Other than that, guys, I think I have gotten everything. I hope. If I forgot something, then I'll put it down in the description afterwards if I forgot to say something. But outside of that, thank you guys. I will see you all back in 2 weeks, and that way we can make another artistic creation together. Bye, guys.